Matchroom, please.
Bomber clad shoot up on fire, man.
It's a top, my selector.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
I know you gonna dig this.
You know, and he was hurting Butler. It is what it is. Now, I don't know if the world is gonna give him all the credit like we do, specifically because of things that you were saying in some of our previous shows, that like, who's Paul Butler? You know, this fight is gonna be whatever. This doesn't fully get him the credit of like undisputed. But look, he had already done the work to become undisputed before Paul Butler. Paul Butler was like, here's some candy for you because you destroyed everybody else. And Paul Butler got in the position for the fight in a non-conventional way. So,
I mean, if you mean winning the fight because the other guy used a sauna to make weight, definitely.
Exactly.
I mean, I never really considered him the real world champion going into this fight, honestly. And the fight was pretty much as one-sided as I thought it would be. I think the main difference, Kenny, is that Paul Butler, I mean, I don't really think he actually tried to win this fight. I mean, he got bludgeoned round after round. I mean, he'd only really throw in rare occasions when Inoue's feet were set. Inoue had to resort to putting his hands behind his back because there was so little engagement from Butler. I mean, he was fighting with his hands behind his back, his hands at his sides. He was going to the ropes and inviting Butler to attack him. He was trying everything. But, you know, he still ended up getting the knockout, which is very difficult to do against a guy that's being as negative as Paul Butler was. So big up to Inoue. You know, I felt that he was undisputed already going into this fight. I didn't think that this fight necessarily needed to happen for him to be undisputed, but guess what? He got the WBO belt. We are officially in the 4-belt era, right? And in the 4-belt era, apparently, you need to win the WBO title to be considered undisputed. So he is undisputed. But let me ask you something, Kenny. Is Josh Taylor still undisputed?
I mean, if we want to go with the technicalities, then no, he relinquished those belts. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go with the technicalities, has he beaten everybody who was a champ at the time? Does he get the credibility of being undisputed at some point? Yes, he does. You can never take that away from the man. But the fact that he gave up the belts, it is what it is. I understand he didn't want to pay those fees, you know, or those sanctioning fees. I understand, you know, they was trying to make him fight mandatories when he was trying to get into a fight right back with, I forgot his name because I'm terrible with names. But
it's Jack Catterall.
There we go, Catterall. He was trying to get back in the ring, Catterall, so he gave the belts up. So I wouldn't call him undisputed, although he beat the people. He beat everybody in that weight class who everybody's trying to fight now. Prograde. And why am I so bad with names? What the hell, bro?
Jose Ramirez.
There we go. There we go.
And Chick. I mean, name through the division, he's pretty much beaten everybody that there is to beat, except for the new guys who are from your island, Kenny, like Alberto Puello. Okay, we'll get into some Dominican boxing in a minute because, as far as I'm concerned, K.O. Kenny's the voice of Dominican boxing. I said that. That's what I say. Okay, but look, as far as I'm concerned, if you collect all 4 belts and you're still in the division, you're still undisputed, because I don't see why you should have to continue paying 3% of your purse to each sanctioning body to keep that status. If you want to be the man at 140, you have to see Josh Taylor until Josh Taylor moves up. So we may disagree on this, but I still consider Josh Taylor to be undisputed. That's my opinion. It's just an opinion, but my definition is you establish yourself at undisputed, and you can't lose that status until someone has beat you in the ring. It's why I think that Lennox Lewis retired undisputed, even though John Ruiz ended up with the WBA title and ended up fighting Holyfield and blah, 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 and Roy Jones Jr.
I don't know, man. That's like the conversation, Lineal versus Undisputed. You know, like there's a difference between both. You can't blur the lines and, you know, say, well, he's the Lineal champ, well, the Lineal Undisputed champ, so that still makes him undisputed, kind of.
What's the dispute? What's the dispute now?
Well, he gave up the belt, so now there's another champ. Whether he beat the guy or not, or it's a new champ, somebody he never fought, he gave up the belt. Now there's another champ. There's other people fighting for this belt.
A bunch of Reggie champs out there. That's what it is. They're a bunch of Reggie
definitely.
Champs. I mean, that's what they are. They're all a bunch of Reggie champs, as far as I'm concerned. They're like regular titleists. He's still the man. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, I don't see how, honestly, Regis Prograis can be taken seriously as the world champion at 140 when the guy that beat him is still undefeated. Oh, but Maestro, Jack Catterall beat him. Officially, he didn't. Anyways, I'll just go into that because to me, Inoue was already undisputed. Like, I didn't think that there was any dispute about the fact that this dude was going to go out there and beat him. Paul Butler, that is. There was no dispute about that. I don't know anybody that thought that Paul Butler was the legit world champion at 118 pounds, right?
Paul Butler did.
Proved it.
Paul Butler thought he was champ at 118.
He didn't even try to win, Kenny. He didn't think he was a champ.
Hey, he was thinking about winning before fight day. Fight day came and he got hit with a couple body shots. The whole game plan changed, bro. It's like, oh no, I don't want this no more. You got it. You the champ. Just give me some money. I'll go home, clean body, no cuts. You know, I just want to go home to my girlfriend or wife or whatever. That's it.
Sorry, that's what it seemed like. You know, did you see a guy that wanted to win?
Mm-mm.
Did you see a guy that you want to see fight again?
Hell no. I saw a guy running. That's all I saw. A guy who was on his skates, a guy who was running all fight, a guy who wasn't even trying to engage. At least try to hit the guy with some hard punches. It didn't even seem like he was really letting them hands go. His hands was like tentative, like he was letting them go, but just kind of to make contact, not necessarily, you know, letting it go with the power, like you're trying to hit somebody. Whatever.
There you go. So Modern King Boxes, Josh Taylor, maybe Lineal still. He's saying maybe. He's questioning it. Modern King said, okay, I get that part. You have to beat the Undisputed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to beat the man to beat a man. I mean, I know that necessarily didn't originate in boxing, but I agree with it. Chicano says another trinket holder. Yeah, everybody at 140 that has a belt other than Josh Taylor is a trinket holder. I guess what you're saying, Kenny, is at least in a way, there's nobody even trying to be a trinket holder, or there isn't another trinket holder out there. There's just Inoue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about Inoue in terms of moving up. Actually, last thing I'll say is from Chicano Prophet. Big up to Chicano Prophet. You guys got to check out his channel too. The man's doing his thing. All right, yep. Just like what we all knew, Shakur was the legit champion at 130 until he moved up, even though he only had 2 belts.